And we're back. Another best of 5 is coming up. We got the rematch, finally.
Ooh, I'm so excited for this one. My North American boys, who is going to represent us in the grand final? Who is potentially going to take WA down? Or is either of them even going to be able to do that? WA looking very dominant in this tournament. But right now, we got Diamond Hands versus Simplicity, a rematch of that crazy series yesterday.
Yeah, and I also talked a little bit to Diamond Hands, and they said, yeah, we're going to give you a few more games. We feel confident. We want that rematch, and we are going to go all in on this one. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be great. It's going to be a good series.
I'm hyped up. At least we don't have a Volskaya first map. You know, that Volskaya game was very fun to watch, all right? At least the last, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But it looks like we're going to Battlefield of Eternity. So we had, a 35-plus minute game, the first series. Maybe this one will have a 6-7 minute game. You know, maybe it'll be a completely different paradigm.
Yeah, I mean, if the Blizzard developer of Heroes of the Storm, the last one, is listening right now, a good way to balance that map is just skip forward 10 minutes. That's the best way. Just propel it forward, make the objective stronger, and then we're talking about a bit of a faster game. But yeah, we got Battlefield in, so a lot of team fights probably, and the draft seems like they're ready. One of the reasons why this was a little bit delayed is that apparently there was a drink spilled on the desk. Now, we immediately went for the players, nervous already. He's wasn't me. It spilled into my direction. Must have been someone else walking past it. I think it was Cross. He's been bumbling about a little bit, and I suspect him. So he's denying everything up to this point. But I think it was our admin.
Okay, but you said you were talking to Diamond Hands before this, and they're feeling a bit more confident that it's not going to be a 2-0 in favor of Simplicity. Did they give you some insights onto their drafts or why they're feeling a little bit more confident?
No, nothing crazy. Just generally touching base with them. And I also talked to Cure, and he's like, yeah, we got a little bit lucky in that first series. So he doesn't expect that this is going to be a clean win either way as well. So yeah, I hope that we're going to get, at least 4 maps out of this. I wouldn't complain about a 5-mapper.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a 5-map or 2, as we are going to be getting into this first game of this best of 5 between Diamond Hands and Simplicity. And right out the gate, we got a Volaban for the side of Simplicity, and they don't want to deal with that Tracer. Wow.
The Cure respect ban right away.
Is it going to be 2? That's the question. We saw in their series last time it was Tracer's air tool every single time.
Yeah.
No.
Ooh, Blaze. All right. Okay, so Blaze is getting banned. We also have at the same time Vala and Medivh addressed. Battlefield of Eternity, so no arrow build here. You could still go for Hanzo, obviously, and chunk the Immortal down pretty quickly.
Yeah. That's interesting, though.
And a lot of hesitation on the first pick already.
Yeah, I don't think they expected that Zeratul to not be banned, or at least the Blaze ban to come out at least. So we saw them pick a Rhaegar earlier. Johanna is going to be the pick. You mentioned earlier on the broadcast that this is a hero you potentially can flex into the offlane, right?
Yes.
Johanna, very strong. If you're new to watching Heroes of the Storm again, did get reworked a little, but very powerful in that main tank role or in the offlane role, so could go either position.
And this is a map where we've seen it a lot, at least on the European side. So, yes, this Jojo side lane, you're not really going to win that lane, but you're not going to lose the fort either. And then once you're heading into the big battles around the Immortal, the 5v5, you have a huge, massive front line with your main tank. Rhaegar and Hanzo. So there's already the Immortal damage coming in. And Rhaegar getting picked. No, yeah, exactly. Immortal check. Okay, so first one already set up. And with the Rhaegar, of course, still, even after the nerfs, great support.
Yeah, and I feel like Hanzo is maybe the priority as far as best DPS for race. You could potentially go Grey Main like an Artanis.
No.
Yeah, but exactly no. It's they may have comparable DPS, but they're way less powerful in the actual team fight.
Yeah.
But we see the Lunara and the Malfurion for Simplicity.
Yeah.
A pretty strong backline, combo if they're able to not get gone on.
The Grey Main I can see. We've had the Grey Main. I'll give you the Grey Main. Just as long as you mention the hero that starts with A, I'll shut that down right away.
Alarak, Artanis, Asmodeus.
I know the theory crafting, but this is the extra damage on the level 1. It was yeah, but then you lose the offlane, you lose everything.
You lose offlane, you lose team fights.
Yeah, exactly.
You hope for a swap.
But what if I get that God swap? What if I get that God swap? Well, then the opponent's going to de-shield, and that's it.
Then you get one kill, and your Arcanus also dies. It's you trade a 1-for-1. But a Dahaka ban coming out for the side of Diamond Hands, not wanting to have to deal with that global pressure. And the question here is for Simplicity.
And with Q.
Yeah, true. His tongues, dude, yesterday were insane. And I like this Diablo ban. You have a Lunara for damage, so not a lot of tank killing. And that's an insta-Yrel Anub'arak.
Yeah, they're going down the Korean way. That's the first time that one of the Eastern clashes where we've seen Anub'arak and Yrel together, and ever since then it has been a stable composition in Heroes of the Storm. It's such a great engage that you have for the two of them. Yrel in general is just bullying people all day long, and this is a great front line that they have here. We get the Malfurion pick again, as we already talked about. We got Bambi on their side too. That's nice damage against the Immortal as well. The problem is always it's damage over time. So while she chunks it down, it takes a little bit. So yeah, if you have the direct damage on the side of Hanzo, it's a bit better. Li Ming is of course fantastic here too, because you can always put the opponent in a position where they have to ask themselves, do we take the damage on the Immortal or do we throw someone into the line of fire? And then slowly they get chunked down as well.
And it's going to be a Genji last pick for Gottfeld, a very mechanical
that.
hero. I like it as well. It's pretty good into the Lunara, into the Malfurion, into the Li Ming. They have a lot of dive, too, with the Anub'arak, with the Yrel as well.
And after I've seen his Phoenix now, I'm kind of curious to see, like, he likes his mobile heroes. Yes. He wants to go on the aggression there. So I like this pick for them.
And I feel like coming out of this first draft phase, I'm really kind of leaning towards the side of Diamond Hands.
Yes,
there are a lot of really vulnerable heroes on the side of Simplicity. I mean, I think Li Ming is the least vulnerable of the backliners, but especially in this Malfurion, if we ever see Yrel get some sort of a flank, get a knockback in, I think we're going to see Legacy have a very quick demise.
Sure
but on top of that, you have the Anub'arak able to get a bro charge, and Genji to follow up off of that CC.
But if you really think yours are, what do you guys think?
With that Dragon Arrow to help potentially set up this big engage. So Simplicity, if they really play on the best, they have really good positioning. I definitely think they can.
And I'll break out of webs.
I feel like coming out of draft, Diamond Hands has it favored.
Yeah, I would definitely give them
it gives the armor a
bit of an upper hand. They have a very aggressive one too. If they can go for a nice dive, they should have a chance to get a kill or two. Especially as there's so many squishes on the other side as well. Now the danger is obviously that at some point Li Ming is going to pop off and get a couple of resets in. But at this point we got Caesar Salad on the Anub'arak, we got Filth as already mentioned on his Genji, Nintori playing Yrel, and June on Rhaegar. So yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'm excited for this series. Who is going to represent NA in the grand finals of this LAN? And it looks like it's going to be Unaverted riding around on the Snowflake, playing Johanna, Cure on the Li Ming, Madara playing Lunara, Fancy Pants on that Hogger, and Legacy rounding out the composition on the Malfurion. And both teams instantly posturing for some aggression here in the mid lane. But, I mean, looks like they're both just going to back off. A little bit of damage traded, as Gottfilth does go for natural agility level 1. So I'd expect to see him go really aggressive with those Ds off the amount. But, yeah, just poking, prodding.
Yeah, also no Ether Walk on level 1 for Li Ming either. So, yeah, at this point, we're going to get a lot of aggression out of this one. This should be fireworks. After the last series that we had between these two teams, I would expect that both of them are going to try and real quickly get the upper hand here, get some momentum going, not only for the map, but for the entire series. Simplicity obviously just coming from this big loss, which, yeah, might have been a problem for some of the players there. Obviously, some like Cure that won't have that issue, but June, talking about experienced players.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
That's that experience coming in.
Yeah!
Just kidding. I was about to say easy calc. Easy calc, not. He got his math calculator out and it just, didn't carry the one, barely died there. Yeah. That's a rough one.
I was waiting the entire time. I was like, the next tick. Can the next tick kill him? If not, then he's alive. But, oh, God. Yeah, so already a kill. Simplicity starting things off with a kill against Rhaegar. The support gone. And with that, they made an easy move for the bottom camp and locked that in. Top side, obviously, the immediate reaction outside of Dynamite hands. They try to get at least one of the two camps, but it opens the bot lane up, and this wall is gonna fall.
That's pretty good for the side of Simplicity. I mean, you'll take this. This is a lot of early game push. A full wall taken down, and you see pretty much half a level lead here for the side of Simplicity coming out after that loss to Wa, looking pretty strong so far, but still, I think Diamond Hands has a lot of tools, Gottfilth doing a lot of damage to Cure here, though, getting turned on.
Zero respect.
Yeah, I mean, should be okay. But yeah, I feel like if he backed out just maybe a second or two earlier, would have been a very favorable trade, but now pretty comparable health bar to the Li Ming. And with the Mouth Healer, that definitely will have more sustain.
But you can already tell that he has absolutely no qualms going toe-to-toe with Cure here, and that he wants to go for the aggressive plays. And he has the hero to pull that off later on. A lot is going to hinge on his shoulders. And honestly, I think he's feeling the responsibility a little bit because of some of the games there. I mean, it always feels a little bit weird because it sounds like we're criticizing him, it sounds like I'm criticizing him and putting the blame for the loss in Volskaya on him, but it's definitely not the case. He played exceptionally well on that map. It was just that high adrenaline, high stakes situation towards the end of the game where they made a bit of a miscalculation, but generally speaking, his side lane pressure with Falset was absolutely exceptional. And I would love in this series to see them again with a macro composition at some point where they can try and make those plays, because they look good against Simplicity when they did that, and I feel that this is a strength that they could exploit in this best of 5.
No, definitely. I mean, in that game particular, I mean, I feel like his false start is the reason they were in that game. And
yes,
yeah, at the end, he made a slight misplay, and we have been talking about it. And yes, it did lose them the game. They 100% could have won there.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, I mean, the reason they were in that game is because of how powerful he played on Falstad. So
exactly. He was the reason why they were in that position to win it in the first place. So, yeah. But I want to, later on in the series, I want them to at least come in once and say, okay, we're going to try and, on a bigger map now, play with Falstad again, play with the Haka, and really try to execute that. And that's also why I'm keeping my eyes on him here now, because he seems to have that confidence, despite what happened there, and to say, okay, I can go toe-to-toe with Kyo here, I can get those kills. And, you know, we talk about Li Ming popping off and getting resets, but if Genji makes the same plays over here, then that backline could fall apart. There's a lot of squishies there. You have Malfurion, you have Lunara, and you have Li Ming.
Definitely.
If you get some good hits in there, especially after a potential Hanzo arrow, you can go full Shimada brothers on them and just take them down.
No, I definitely feel like a lot of this game, post-10, and in these later game team fights, are going to come down to Gottfilth's positioning, his ability to get those E resets, or just be on the proper target. And yeah, I like to see the aggression. As we see Diamond Hands laying a lot of aggression here into the Immortal, but Nintori actually getting rooted, and the follow-up route from the Immortal, and that's going to be a reset for Cure, and he wants more as he blinks in aggressively onto Caesar Salad, as it looks like Madara is going to go onto Immortal, and this should be the first Immortal phase going over to the side of Simplicity. But if you're Diamond Hands, you still got a decent amount of damage onto it as well. Actually, they got the Immortal first. Gottfilth, the player we were talking about with the macro, going in there and just getting a little bit of damage onto the Immortal. Yeah,
they're sitting at the 50-50 now, and obviously since the death timers are really low, they're already back to business here, so they're starting to slowly move in for this. Yeah, I mean, again, we're looking at 6,000 to 8,000 hit points right now. Blue team is starting to defend a little bit more aggressively, but they're all dropping low, especially Caesar Salad seems to be in trouble here. Gottfilth also is just poking slowly, but it's just not enough, and the red team, Simplicity, they walk away with a shield. Roughly 20%. Immortal number 1 goes over to them.
Yeah, and that's nice. I mean, you're happy with it, but also this isn't a massive lead, right? This isn't a situation where they got 3-4 kills and the Immortal. You know, I think Diamond Hands is still in a position where they'll hit 10s around a relatively even time as Gottfilth, blinking in aggressively with that agile agility, and actually maybe taking a little bit too much damage, almost losing his life and forcing the cleanse out from June. And now this actually is a 3v4 situation on the top side, as Gottfilth is going to have to back here, looking to assert some aggression, but they may actually lose the fort because of that.
Yeah, and I mean, thankfully for the blue team, we currently have a spot in which both teams run level 7 already, so it's not like they're at a disadvantage in talents. Nintori was trying to come over, but this is again the aggression from Genji, and they're having a bit of trouble controlling him, but finally saving Lunara here and turning it against the melee assassin. The Immortal is down, and we haven't seen the fort fall, so there's a lot of good damage initially at the top side, but they weren't really in a spot where they could destroy the outer structures.
Yeah, and I mean, he loses his health bar, most likely going to have to back again, but I like that aggression coming right back to Gottfilth, basically zoning, making space for Kelsier on this Hanzo to clear off that Immortal, as it looks like Simplicity now is going to be starting up the siege camp. Caesar walking onto the point. I would expect to see them to just back off here, forced to use the Burrow charge. Gottfilth going in, pressuring again onto the Li Ming. As level 8 to level 8, a pretty even game, but definitely structures are in favor of Simplicity as they've taken that top wall, dealt a good amount of damage to the fort, and taken the bot wall as well.
Yeah, and you can't shake the feeling, really, that the blue team is struggling a bit to really get a foothold here. They have these nice moments where we see Genji coming in, trying to poke the back line, but generally speaking, despite the fact that they're holding on in experience, they don't seem to be the ones, you know, that make the decisions here. They're more reacting, and now finally they're trying to turn this. They're making the move for Madara. Beautiful engage by Urel here too, and that's finally the kill. Down goes Lunara, Bambi dead, and with that they have the 5v4. Hogga is down at the bottom of the map. Nicely done here. Obviously they have to retreat. Urel is moving bot side to get all of the experience here. They close the gap in XP, get a little bit closer to level 10 themselves now, and the next Immortal is spawning in 25.
Yeah, and this should be a level 10 to level 10 Immortal fight, as Pants is going to be able to finish up this bot siege camp, and I would expect to see Simplicity make a rotate over to their Hards, aka the Bruisers, and get that out before this objective, as you see Diamond Hands on the left doing the same. And we are about to have a 10v10 team fight. Do you feel like there's a team that's very favored once 10s hit, or do you feel like it's relatively even?
I think it's fairly even, but it depends a bit on how well the engage goes for the blue team, because if they can drive it past the cocoon, then they're in a great spot, I think. But now also we have for Jojo the blessed shields. They're not going to go into any aggressive falling sword setups, so that extra stun is worth a lot. But yeah, Li Ming obviously coming straight in with the disintegrate, so cocoon can be burned down very, very quickly. Depends a whole lot if they can land the cocoon maybe on her, if she dodges it. Arrow, talking about dodging, missing completely. Yeah, narrowly missing the target here. As again, ooh, they are trying to make the play for Bambi. Quick leaping strike is already coming through. Pans is coming in at the back end, trying to go for Hanzo. And even Rega is low. So once again, it's Simplicity starting to force the blue team back and then focusing quickly onto the objective.
Oh, Kelsier able to get the natural agility away, but going to be chunked. Doesn't look like he has a tap, so going to be forced to walk in with not a lot of HP. And this could be an opportunity for Simplicity to finish off the rest of this Immortal, as Hanzo actually did opt for the back. Seemed like Diamond Hands wasn't able to connect all their ults at the same time, but jumping onto Unaverted here, don't have the Hanzo, potentially a 4v5 option. Ancestral forced to be used here, as Hogger is just going to be able to escape.
They're making the play for the Immortal now and trying to burn it down. And of course, how is Simplicity going to react? Do they make a move for the top? Try to finish off the remaining hit points on the blue team's Immortal. Seems like that's exactly what's going on. Lunara is there immediately. There's still a couple of plays to be made with X-Strike up again, but they give it up. They realize that they won't be able to deal with the poke. So this is a huge shield on the second Immortal. Funny as it is, there's a tiny experience lead even for the blue team, but that doesn't really help them. This is the second Immortal in a row now that they are losing out on, and it's only a question of how much can Simplicity get out of this, considering that the wall is already gone at the bot lane.
Yeah, definitely 1-4. I'd expect 2 forts to fall. If they get a couple of kills, potentially could go for this keep wall, potentially gain the keep if they really have a massive fight in their favor. But the question is, I mean, with this Lunara, with this Li Ming, able to just poke out, deal damage, can Diamond Hands get a big defense here? Really, Nintori on this Yrel is going to be my hero to watch. Oh, the Blessed Shield not connecting. Gotfilth with a great X-Strike, able to get on out of there, as it looks like the Immortal is going to start losing its shield here. Gotfilth jumping in with another natural agility. Pants going in as well, and that's going to be the Cocoon Forest. Would like to see Simplicity maybe just rotate top and finish off the fort.
Yeah, and at this point, they can finally burn the Immortal down, but there's obviously a turn opportunity if they get a Cocoon off. Stun hits Genji. Are they diving in with it? Yeah, Caesar Salad's just going for the minion wave, and they're not getting too aggressive in it. Cocoon already in cooldown here. No Hanzo arrow utilized in the last fight.
Yeah, still have that engage tool, so if Simplicity does overextend here for the Siege Giants, or potentially wanting to get this fort, could be a scary opportunity for them. As you see Kira setting up the flank, actually Caesar Salad going for the Burrow Strike, barely not going to be able to connect, and Unaverted doesn't have Blessed Shield for another 8 seconds, otherwise I think we for sure would have seen Caesar Salad fall, or at least the Ancestral being used by June there.
Yeah, the Cockroach would have very, very likely been dropped, or as you said, the cooldown sacrifice, because that Blessed Shield would have locked him down even further, and he was already down to 50% HP. But level 13 is close, and it's again Gotfilth that moves in and tries to procure down a little bit. Li Ming has to be careful, but now with Illusionist, obviously have a few more tools in the tool bag. They go for the camp. Yrel is still at the bot lane, locking in some extra experience for the blue team as they're trying to catch up in experience to get level 13 themselves.
Oh, Unaverted, able to get the natural agility, actually going the direction that Caesar didn't expect. Cure looking for the one-shot, not going to be able to get it. Blessed Shield coming out, though. Caesar Salad falling very low. The Ancestral doesn't connect now on an 8-second cooldown, but can they get a kill before that? I don't think so. They will have Ancestral, but this is going to enable them to get the fort here, as Gotfilth going aggressive again, but able to, test those limits, know that they can get out safe.
Yeah, very solid game from Simplicity so far. You can really see that the blue team is really trying to go for one of these kills, trying to get some momentum here, but it's always the red team, it's always Simplicity that makes the moves here, initiates the engages, got the Blessed Shield off this time against the Nubarak, and they got the kill. The Ancestral was just a bit too late, but now maybe an opportunity. They go in with Genji, they try to kill on Jojo, but it's not working out for Gotfilth, and there it is. The drop on Genji. He's down. Anubara coming through, though, dropping his Cocoon. Li Ming is dead, and they're still fighting it out in a 4v4 situation.
Kira saw so many resets in his eyes and didn't get any. That's rough. He blinked it so aggressive and wasn't able to finish off that Hanzo or the Rhaegar. And Caesar Salad actually walking up here, taking a little bit of damage. But at this point, Genji's going to be up, and they're going to have maybe a 10-second window where they do have that 5v4. They have a potential opportunity to go really aggressive. As you see Kelsier here on the Hanzo, just laying damage into the Immortal. And it looks like they will actually opt for their Knights here, but pretty much, structurally, Simplicity's ahead, 100%. But at this point, 14-14, this is anyone's game. Whoever wins this next team fight potentially could get a really big shielded Immortal, could look at a massive lead going into this late game.
Blue team just needs to get some momentum. They need to get... Oh, this could be the moment! They go for Lunara. She nearly dies, but she makes it out with another quick ult. Genji has not given up on the kill. kill yet. Is trying to move in, and Rhaegar gets murdered in the back by Hogger. A second kill, a third Jojo, Genji, both down. Kelsey in trouble, and there comes the laser show as Cure moves in with Lim Ming to drop the second Shimada brother.
And then he gets stunned by the Immortal, and the spam pings from his teammate. You love to see it, letting him know, bro, you ain't the sidestep king. B-Kid's not here. What do you mean? But this is going to be a massive Immortal going the way of Simplicity. Would expect to be, it's pretty much, 95% shield for them. And this is going to be a 16 talent tier advantage as well. This is looking dire for the side of Diamond Hands in this first game of this best of 5.
Yeah, this is going to be bad. If they lock this Immortal in now with a huge shield and a level 16 talent on the push, then it's going to be a rough defense. So Caesar Salad at this point, he's already trying to take position around the Immortal. If they can at least drive the fight and get a kill here, that would make the defense so much easier. But can they? That's the question. Unaverted, pushing forward slowly. Here comes Cure once again with the Disintegrate, poking it down slowly. The attack has to be made at some point, but it's once again June that's in trouble. The Self-Ancestral is too late. So is the Arrow. No kills for the Diamond Hands.
Oh,
and that's Immortal number 3 for Simplicity.
Yeah, and that's Rhaegar dead for another 25 seconds. May not have it until the very end of this push. As you see Legacy 4 resetting, wanting to get max mana before this goes. But a lot of the tools that Diamond Hands needs to win these team fights are going to be down for this push. No Hanzo for 40 seconds, no Cocoon for 45 seconds, no Genji X-Strike for about 30 seconds. May come up near the very end of this push. But yeah, they're really lacking a lot of those engage tools that they need to win these team fights.
Push to the top lane is going to be difficult to hold, that's for sure. So they're going to aim for the keep here. You see Rel on the minimap still at the bottom of the map. Reason pretty simple. She wants another wave. She wants to get 16 for the team so that they can fight with even talents at least. But currently it's just not happening. The push is already ongoing and that shield is massive. Simplicity, the eye on the prize. They want keep at least. If they can get kills, they might be able to go further than that. But the keep has to be the minimum for them. And of course we're seeing Diamond Hands defending as best as they can here, but they need to be careful. If anybody dies now, finally there's the 16, and now they could potentially try and go for it. Nubarak already with the epicenter. Maybe now they engage. He dives in, but they need to follow up on it.
Madara going a bit aggressive. Cure able to instantly break the Cocoon. I like Diamond Hands going in aggressive here. I mean, the Immortal, potentially if they lose the fight though, Ancestral does come out. Caesar's going to be okay here as Kelsier falling super low from the Hogger, going to be able to survive. And Pants maybe extending a bit too low, but June, that's the first reset. Can Cure get another one? That's the question. If Simplicity gets more kills, this could be game number 1 going their way. But if they overextend, this could be the chance for Diamond Hands to bring it back.
June is having a rough game. 4 deaths already on Rhaegar. And now Simplicity just sieging up at the core, getting the hits out. And Nubarak is low, nearly dying here. They're trying to get the counter kills, but they can't get them. Got Filth is dead. Lunara dies too. But here's the play. Simplicity, they go for the core. They're trying to take it down to 10%. And there's just no doubt anymore. They are going to drop it. And that is game number 1 in the hands of Simplicity.
Yeah, at the end there, too, just staying around knowing, okay, we can get a pick, we can get another kill here, and we can end the game. I like Simplicity with the confidence there, finishing it out in the first game, and it really felt like Diamond Hands was never really able to catch their footing, catch that momentum. Yeah. We were talked about the Hanzo arrow kind of setting up their engage, and I felt like often it was used as like a counter engage or a bit later in the fight. I felt like they weren't really clicking their buttons at the same time, eing in at the same time with all of the heroes. So maybe a bit off on the communication standpoint there, but yeah, definitely. Well, I felt pretty close. Don't feel like it was super dominant one way or the other, but definitely Simplicity was leading the whole way through and able to, win.
It just felt always like they were just on the edge of finally getting the momentum and getting into a flow in the game, but it was never there. Simplicity shut that down quite nicely. And also, June got caught multiple times. He died 4 times in total. And if you're lacking your support in the big team fights, if you're lacking that Ancestral, that's, of course, really bad news. And it also forces a lot of the aggressive players like Genji to just sit back. They can't go that deep because they know they don't have that support. They don't have that quick heal when it's needed. And therefore, Simplicity takes the lead again. Which brings us a little bit back to the question that we had initially. Are we going to see a macro game? Next map, are we going to see a big one? Can they maybe play with that false set again and apply the side lane pressure that we saw from Godfilth on Volskaya Foundry the last time?
I would like to see it. I mean, I think Godfilth was so strong on that false stat, and I just feel like it really enabled his team to play the map so much better, right? Get some advantageous 5v4s, and the next map we're actually going to is going to be a very, powerful global map. It's going to be Cursed Hollow, so I would love to see some high Dahaka, some high false stat priority from both of these teams. I'll be curious to see if those are some first rotation bans, last time we saw Cursed Hollow between Team Wa and Simplicity, Dahaka and Falstad were both banned in that first rotation. So I'll be curious to see how the bans go for this one, but definitely feel like if the Globals make it through the draft, that they should look to pick it up.
Yeah, and obviously you can at this point also take a little bit of a look to what do you need for fights around the boss or the curse or the tributes. Do we get maybe again that Tyrael, Blaze Tyrael, really good for the layer defenses for some of the boss battles. Falstad, of course, not only good for the side lane, the Gust itself also real helpful there. But they need to step it up now. I always feel like in the best of 5 series, once you fall behind with an 0-2, it is so difficult to make these reverse sweeps happen. They're always amazing when they actually do happen, but it's such a just mentally, it's such a problem to really focus on game 3 and say like, okay, guys, we still got this.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think they have the tools. I think they have the chance to bring it back here if they, they're a good team, and we saw them get close to that momentum and not just being able to finish it out. But yeah, I feel like if they get some more macro pressure, they'll be able to do it. But also, I feel like they just need to engage at the same time. I feel like with the last comp they had, the ease of execution is not very easy, right?
Yeah.
Like you all have to click your buttons at the same time. So maybe getting more of a front-to-back composition. Diamond Hands is someone we've watched play a lot of Phoenix. A lot of these heroes where you can kind of kite and then look for your right opportunity instead of needing to like hard engage. So I'd like to see them maybe move back to that more style.
Yeah. I mean, this map also allows you for a lot more tactical options, obviously.
Yeah.
We talked the last time that we saw it between Team Wa and Simplicity about the double boss and the plays that you can make around that. You just like trade bosses, do you go aggressive and try to invade on the other side. So, yeah, this is going to be kind of nice. The funny thing for me is right now they're currently in the lobby and everybody's saying like, all right, we're ready. And I'm just looking at this and I'm like, yeah, but you're mixing teams right now.
yeah, June's on Simplicity and hopefully someone notices, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like, interesting approach. I mean, I'm
Double
all for
support,
it. Like, I'm
baby.
for it. Mix it up a little bit. It's fine. Go for the double support there. The other team doesn't even pick a single one. But yeah, everybody's like, we're ready, we're ready. I'm like, are you though?
we're missing one critical thing here, gentlemen. But yeah, I mean, this is the battle for who is going to make it into the grand finals, who is going to face about, I'll call them the EU juggernauts because that's what they've shown up as this entire tournament. Team Wa has been so powerful. And, can one of these North American teams dethrone the current, definite #1 seed heading into the grand finals, and we'll see. But this is what, they got to win this series first before they can make it onto that next one. But whichever one wins is going to be representing North America, which is just a little bit of extra pressure for them heading into that grand finals.
And it's a best of 7 series that comes up next. So that's obviously also big because we talked a lot about how oftentimes within a series or within a tournament, you adjust to an opponent slowly in the way that they are playing. You maybe find that one answer to how do we beat them, what can we do after initially taking a couple of losses, and in the best of 7, that we'd have way more time to make that work, especially, of course, if you previously played the same team already.
Yeah.
But that's the situation that Diamond Hands is in right now. They lost in the winner bracket against Simplicity. It was a very, very close series, despite the fact that it ended with a 2-0. Now we're heading into game number 2. We have Cursed Hollow coming up. Zeratul gets instantly banned. So once more, it's the Cure Respect ban that we're seeing here from them.
Well, and it's also map specific, right? Like, Zeratul went through the entire draft last game, right? Wasn't picked, wasn't banned. So, I think after losing to Juan that first series where he did have that Zeratul, kind of recognizing I can't pick it every time, but Curse Hollow, one of those maps where this hero just gets so much value. There's so many areas that he can flank from, so many walls he can wormhole over. Just not a map that you actually want to play into a Zeratul, let alone cure a Zeratul. The question is, will they ban the Tracer? Yes, they will. So not wanting to deal with either of those heroes. We did see Cure on the Tracer doing pretty well against Wa earlier, so I like this. Unless they wanted to take it away, just not wanting to deal with it. And we see the Medivh and Hogger banned for the side of Simplicity.
Which also means that we have Johanna still up, we have all of the globals up, so you can go for your Dahaka, you can go for your Falstad. And that's the big question that you, of course, have right now. Is any of them making it into the game here? Are we going to see a prioritization maybe on Blaze even when it comes to side lane? And that is going to be answered very quickly now as Nintori locks in Johanna. Still a high priority for her. She doesn't see a lot of bans today, but she is a continuous first pick here.
Yeah, such a powerful player. But they have the option if they wanted to go for that Dahaka Falstad, would expect maybe a Blaze Falstad, and they do just opt into that double global. So we could see Diamond Hands get June onto that Brightwing so that they have a global for themselves, but a very powerful, 1-2 here for the side of Simplicity, especially on this map with that global pressure.
Which they played the last time against them already, against Diamond Hands, and they didn't exploit the globals too much. We talked with Cure about it afterwards, and they said they were a bit worried about Lucio and Murden on the other side, and here's Lucio again So the reason simply being that if you're on that side lane, you're trying to push a few more of those waves out. You don't have vision on the opponent, and they move in with Lucio. They're able to connect the first stun, maybe a slow, and you lose your side laner. You lose all of the advantages that you have. So they had a lot of respect for Diamond Hands in that sense. This time I would love for them to exploit this a bit more, especially since they again ban out ETC to deny the stage dive pseudo-global to the blue team. Obviously, Lucio can still make this rotation a bit faster, but for me personally, I talked with Q about it quite a bit. If it comes to a late game, once those forts are down, maybe a keep is destroyed, they need to make sure that either Falstead or Dehaka is pushing the side lanes a bit more aggressively to just get that macro control of the game.
Yeah, it's just like that added pressure forcing the opponent to back is very powerful. And looks like they are going to opt for the Hanzo ban for the side of Diamond Hands. Don't want to deal with that Dragon Arrow, as well as just the safe poke, right? The ability to bullseye the person trying to cap the trib. You can get some scatter arrows in there, some W's in there, while your globals are getting double soaked.
You're talking bullseye.
True.
The last time we saw the two of them, towards the end, it was insanely clutch. And the problem for Simplicity was they couldn't win fights anymore because Johanna on the other side just destroyed them. The fights didn't go well. And then the one saving play was Hanzo, who just got banned in the rematch, hitting the bullseye towards the end. Dehaka moving in, connecting the additional CC in the drag, and that won them the game. So this time, they're like, nope.
And that's a beautiful CC chain, honestly. But this is a very similar composition to what we saw them play earlier on Khaldor, right? And I would expect, I know Diamond Hands was watching the replays of these games, analyzing it, studying it. Simplicity won it. A lot of times when players win games, maybe they analyze the replay, maybe they don't. But Diamond Hands, I feel like coming into this one, definitely had a plan. Same two bans in the first rotation, realizing, hey, the Hanzo was the big threat that we weren't able to deal with. And I'm excited to see how this one goes. We do have Unaverted on the Diablo, and they get the Sylvanas as well. So a lot of macro, a lot of split pressure for the side of Simplicity. But can they make use of it? Because last time on Curse Hollow, they didn't make the best of it.
Yeah, now we have also Murden again, so Jojo finds herself on that side lane that we've been talking about. It's exactly that little bait and switch that's oftentimes going on these days. And yeah, got Filth again on the Phoenix, who we showcased several times. You are right. This is a very, very similar composition for both teams from what we had the last time they faced off against each other. And that was a nail-biter. I really hope that we're going to get the exact same tension now in the second game. And it's, of course, an important one for Diamond Hands since they want to tie this. It's a little bit of a curse for them right now. They're 0-3 to Simplicity, so just the single win would help them a lot with them just coming in with more confidence.
No, definitely. That's a big part. Like, getting your first win against the team is huge, right? Especially since they did lose 2-0, and it was so close. And one thing I want to note, Johanna and Murden are some beefy boys, and I feel like it's going to be very hard for the side of Simplicity to actually kill those heroes.
Did you just misgender Jojo?
Oh, I'm sorry. Some beefy individuals. I did misgender Jojo. I'm sorry. But some beefy individuals. They got high HP bars. Okay, that's what I meant.
No, but you're absolutely right. If you have that front line, how do you break through that? And if you look at what they have on the other side, it's not like, I mean, Sylvanas is going to be the biggest one, but there's not someone where you say, okay, they're going to melt down the high hit point heroes. So absolutely. And there's also stuns too. The question is now what to do on the side lane. We could see a Blessed Shield even over Falling Sword. Now, the last time that they played off against it was a little bit weird because they went actually Falling Sword, and once that they had the 20, obviously you get this insane value from the Storm talent. But if you look at this, they have already a few slows in with, let's say, the Poison on Lunara. They have the Storm Bolt. If they add also a stun from Jojo on it, then they have a huge CC chain that they could try to exploit. So there's definitely options.
No, definitely. As it looks like Simplicity is going to be rotating into the top lane here and looking to just pressure up into the tower. Not going to be able to get the most, but doing a decent job here as it looks like they are just going to be both pressuring on this top side.
At this point, obviously, we also have our 1v1 at the bot lane. We talked a lot about Johanna in a position like that. But now, Falstead flying to the middle, trying to lock in some extra experience for the team in red, whereas up at the top, the push still kind of continues a little bit. No deaths just yet, a bit of pressure against Unaverted in particular with this Diablo. He's obviously going to try to get the stacks together, make himself a little bit more beefy here.
Yeah, and slight experience lead, but that should be evened up as Falstad is going to be catching this massive wave in the mid lane. But it looks like Rhaegar and Sylvanas are going to be taking up their Knight camp, so we will see Knights coming out first. Actually, Diamond Hands here, maybe good job from Unaverted baiting them out, but I was going to say Caesar Salad and June potentially could have looked for the invade there, but it looks like Phoenix is going to be doing the siege for Diamond Hands, whereas Simplicity is going to get their Knight camp out first. So I'll be curious to see what they do with this extra Knight pressure. Do they look to push with it? Do they just opt into their siege? I would like to see them hold the siege since they do have that top curse and the double global. They could get in a very good situation to get a lot of experience and put Diamond Hands in a really difficult no-win situation.
Yeah, timing on the camps on any map is always massively important. In this case, now they go for the immediate grab on the camp to the top left, but yes, we'll find out what Simplicity is going to respond and do here. And since they have 2 globals, they should have a very easy time dealing with that. The pressure is definitely going to be on the blue team for the first objective. That's definitely true. They can't waste too much time on it, or they're going to fall farther and farther behind because of the globals staying bot side potentially with the camp. But there is already a strong push going on with even a level 4 advantage for a couple of seconds here in the mid lane.
Ooh, Cure with the tongue off of the Diablo combo, but a good job from June, able to boop and stop that. But, you know, off of that pressure, able to get almost a full tower in the mid lane. Good job from Caesar Sour just being in position to pressure them out, but, you know, they get almost get a mid tower, but they lose a top tower as Got Filth on this Phoenix, putting a lot of aggression into the Falstad. Definitely a very hard lane matchup as you see the Muradin, Lucio, and Lunara rotating up here as well. If Pants is not careful here, potentially could get jump stunned. And Got Filth on this siege camp is laying down so much pressure, going to get the entire wall. So even though Sim was the one that set up that rotation, set up the pressure in the mid lane, they end up actually losing out on more from a structure standpoint.
And they're still not reacting. They're still not going there. So they're losing more and more and more, especially since we now have an even bigger rotation of Diamond Hands towards the top to prepare for the objective. Oh. And they're getting unaverted, poked down low too, and he dives in, and that could be a huge mistake. Rhaegar's on the way, trying to help him out here, but unaverted goes down. Big kill for Diamond Hands. They get the pressure topside against the fort. They took the wall out. They will lock the tribute in. And this is honestly bit problematic here from the perspective of Simplicity. This was a huge opportunity for them, and they just threw it away.
Yeah, this is potentially worst case scenario, and look at them now. A little upset with how that went. Cure going maybe a bit too aggressive here, taking a lot of damage. The cleanse coming out from Legacy, going to allow him to get out. But I mean, that's your Dahaka Z for what? Nothing. Yeah. He lost his health bar, and like you mentioned, a great job from Diamond Hands to really just stop that first tribute. I mean, Simplicity needed to get more from that. They needed to get global pressure, and they didn't get a thing.
You have 2 globals. You have your Siege Giant camp pushing on the opposite side of the map. All you got to do is stall. Yes. You don't even have to win it. You just have to stall. That's all you got to do. And then time is going to work in your favor, and your bot lane is going to get massive value. And if at any point you want to take the fight, you just global with your bot laner into the battle and try to take the tribute. But now instead, they lost the tribute. They lost one of their heroes. They took massive damage up at the fort at the top, and they get nothing out of the bot lane. So that is definitely a bit of a blunder here from them.
Definitely a bit of a blunder. I mean, still, game could go either way, but currently, I mean, we were talking about in the last game how Diamond Hands struggled to get momentum. This game, it's nothing but momentum for them as 2v3 Got Filth and Caesar Salad go in onto Legacy here. The Rhaegar falling very low, also forcing out the Falstad global, and 5 seconds on this trib. Diamond Hands potentially could be in a position to get set up. They also have the Knights in the mid getting a lot of value.
Yeah, and here's the tribute. So they have the Knights already in the middle, and Lunara's doing some work. Cure just moved in, tries to get the drag here. He's not in a position to follow through with that. Gets also slowed down a bit, and they're slowly poking him here. So this is a really, really good start for the blue team, all things considered. Given the position of the first tribute, it should have been Simplicity that pulls ahead initially, but now Falstad is in trouble. Cure gets chased again. Up at the top, though, Caesar Salad is in trouble, but they locked in the second tribute. I call worth.
Yeah, and Cure potentially could be in a situation to lose his life, though. Legacy coming in with the heal. June gonna get tongued and falling low. Cure says, I know my limits. No world I die here. Yeah. And a bit of an overextension from Diamond Hands. You got the trib. Just trade your Muradin and get out. They go for the turnaround kill, and they're going to lose the boss for it and not be able to take their own to equalize.
Yeah, that can't happen. Trading Muradin for the tribute is absolutely fine, but you got to back off after that. And you could see how they were thinking, okay, if we can take Cure down, if we can at least trade, then we're in a better spot. And what they get at the end is they lose 2 more heroes, and on top of that, they also lose the boss now. So that's very quickly turned. They needed to be a bit more. I mean, yeah, they need to keep a cool head here.
Yeah, Nintori actually going to get silenced. Madara just popping the ult, but June on the Lucio in the proper position, and that means going into this next tribute fight, it will potentially. Oh wait, they're just going to start up the boss here. This is a very aggressive. I would expect to see them peel off. Okay, they did.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
Legacy, though, I mean, getting chunked down so low. Caesar Salad by himself, taking the Rhaegar down to about half HP, and this tribute is going to be a very important one. If Diamond Hands is able to get it, Kelsier actually going to be able to escape here. But if they get this trip, it's a curse.
Yeah, and then they could also go for boss if they win a fight. If they win a fight, get boss and curse, that would be great for them. But Caesar Salad gets chunked down once again a little bit. Unaverted is suffering the same fate, though. Once again, it's Muradin with the channel attempt here. Pants is about to interrupt him, as is. And Muradin, he needs to have his trade kick in so that he gets some hit points again so he can participate in the fight.
Ooh.
Isolation even being used here just for an interrupt by Kyo.
That's not how you want to use Isolation. Pants will have the next stall, but they're fine to just continue using this. Actually, the Johanna going in here, a good gust coming out from Pants to try and zone them, but they used all of their ultimates and they didn't get a single kill. And this is going to be Curse going over the way of Diamond Hands. What can they make happen off of this, though?
I gotta say, this is a bit of a weird game. I love that both teams are looking for opportunities and are a bit aggressive, but at the same time, we have also several blunders happening already, and talking about one of them, June is dying here. Caesar Salad is getting chased. They just got the curse on the opponent. They are again a bit too aggressive. They lose two, and that takes all the spice out of this push.
Diamond Hands, so greedy. Your Johanna just back to go top. Your Phoenix is getting so much value in the bot lane. All you have to do is not feed mid, as it looks like Cure doing a good job holding the tongue, putting Gottfilth in a situation where he has to try and juke, has to try and jive, but he ends up dying, and that's 3 heroes. That's not how you want your curse to go.
I don't want to call this the game of throws, but it's pretty much a game of lost opportunities here.
Yes.
Big opportunity at the first tribute for Simplicity. They don't follow through. Then a big opportunity for the blue team around the second tribute where they go a bit too deep and just trade badly. And then the same thing happens again around the curse. And now that they got the objective, what do they get out of it? They got a few structures. They have destroyed the top fort and the bottom fort. But generally speaking, it's a level lead now for Simplicity. They take the early level 13, 6 kills to 1. It is a weird game.
Yeah, definitely a weird game here. That was such a big opportunity. I mean, you saw, even with that going really poorly, they got 2 forts off of that. Imagine if they didn't die there. Could have potentially got all the forts, could have potentially set themselves up for a boss here, as Johanna is forced to, Nintori use that falling sword to escape and survive, as Simplicity is trying to force this issue. They have level 13. They want to try and extend their lead. They want to try and get more off of this. But it's still 0 trips to 0 trips. So if Diamond Hands is able to hit level 13, potentially could be in a good situation, as Caesar Salad is going to jump, stun, and they still don't have 13 here. So going a bit aggressive without that 13 talent here.
Yeah, they need the next talent. They need also to get some kills in. There's still the boss available at the bottom left, so eventually we're going to see that one claimed. It's pretty much a reset on the objective too. The structural advantage goes over to Diamond Hands, and they find themselves in a decent spot here, but it's also that experience here that worries me a bit for the blue team. Simplicity is currently sitting at 52 stacks with Falstad, so he's going to increase his damage output here too. And they're already moving in for the boss at the bot lane. Thankfully, Nintori is here double-checking what's going on, and that already pushes them back. The rest of the team was taking Siege Giants top side. But it's even talents now. So now we are at level 13 for both, but we need a few more kills for the blue team. In the long run, they won't be able to win this one if they don't go for a few good team fights and are able to lock in those kills.
You see Legacy instantly throwing out the cleanse in case Muradin was able to connect that Stormbolt. But right now, Simplicity pretty much a level and a half up with double global. This is a positive situation for you. You see Dahaka's been playing on top side, Falstad on bot side, just maximum soak on both ends. If you're Diamond Hands, you kind of want to force here, as it looks like actually Unaverted can be the one to force the engage. The silence comes out as well, but Gottfilth going in here. The gust is pretty good. The Ancestral comes out as well, as Madara going a bit aggressive on the Sylvanas, but it looks like both teams are going to be content with that and just back out. I think that does favor Diamond Hands, as they only used 1 ultimate compared to the 3 ultimates of Simplicity, and this could be an opportunity for Diamond Hands to get this trip, and if, Simplicity overstays, potentially get some kills for themselves.
Yeah, Dahaka was all this time in the mid lane taking the camp and is not trying to push with it. Level 16 is super close for Simplicity now. Tribute popping up in a moment, but yeah, that experience lead is just getting crazy. They're extending it further and further here, and that's exactly what the Simplicity needs to do. Capitalize on the 2 globals, try to control the lanes, get ahead in experience, run these talent leads. Caesar Salad is already rushing away. Kelsia is also split off from the rest of the team, and they're starting to chase them down here. Blue team at least took the tribute, but that is not the leap that you want to go for. That is, full-on Sudoku by Bambi.
Yeah, that's a huge mistake from Kelsier.
Honorable Subaru, what we just saw. That was...
And if Simplicity sniffs this out, they could just leave both their globals but it looks like they're not actually aware. I mean, this is a little bit like deja vu, but in reverse. You know,
Yeah.
Diamond Hands going to the opposing team's boss. But the question is, will Simplicity be able to get there in time? Because if they are, this could be a very scary situation for Diamond Hands where they're caught with their pants down. Okay, they are going to back off. Only got the boss to about half here. As Nintori actually going to get a gone on here. They want some extra kills. Going to force out the Falling Sword. But Madara and Cure are going to be able to get the boss. Also, that death from Kelsier. That's 2 bosses going the way of Simplicity, and this should get them bot for, should get them potentially top wall, and this experience lead is only going to continue. Potentially going to see in a minute or two a situation where Simplicity is really close to 20 and Diamond Hands is forced to take a bad engage or just forced to not fight for a while.
I mean, real talk, Diamond Hands, they need to get their shit together, coordinate and attack well, and get some kills here. That's pretty much what it comes down to. At this point, they're having some nice moments, and they had some opportunities, but they really need to get some kills in these fights now. It's the only way back into the game. There's a huge experience gap they need to bridge. They need to wait for level 16, but once they have it, they need to look for an engage. They need to find a good position, try and coordinate properly on a hero, take the target down, and then with the help of Lucio, attempt to chase the rest. This is the only way back into this game.
Yeah, and they potentially could, as Johanna could get the flank here, though. Kelsier again on the Lunar, gonna get blown up. Gotfilth trying to throw out some damage as well. June coming in, able to get the high five, but now all they have is Phoenix to damage this boss, and it looks like Simplicity is posturing. They want more. Cure, oh, goes for the follow-up tongue off of Inverted, but June with a great high five, able to get the escape. Yeah, if they get at least one more kill here, could be game over for the side of Diamond Hands.
Yeah, they got to keep, and this is pretty much all they wanted, but obviously now they have an opportunity to get even more. They want to go for the kill. They go for Gotfilth. He gets out just barely, but he does now. Unaverted is in trouble. Gets stunned. The Ancestral. It's too late, and they get Diablo. That saves the day for now. For Diamond Hands. They're able to save the core here. No damage, and now the chase is on. They need to get more out of this. It cannot be the only kill. This is the moment where you're going to go for momentum. Isolation already being used. Here's kill number 2. Rhaegar is dead, and it is Diamond Hands on a tear as they're going for the Haka. They drop him, and they go for the birdie. They want the chicken. Gotfilth. He knew exactly what was going to happen here. Cuts him off completely. 4 kills to 8. There's the kill against Falstad. They want to go for the full wipe here. The fort in the middle is going to be destroyed, and the blue team finally has the momentum they needed.
Are they going to go and try for the end? It looks like as they're rotating to the top side, going instantly onto this wall. Okay, no, Johanna is just going to back up, cap the trip, but they want to get a keep here. But Caesar Salad falling relatively low. Madara doing a decent amount of damage, but you cannot continue to bleed deaths here if you're the side of Simplicity. Unaverted, doesn't have very many souls, potentially could be in a scary situation, but Diamond Hands is forcing. They want to get this keep, and I don't know if they will.
But that was a weird one here too, because they aimed for Diablo with a Storm Bolt, and then all of a sudden Sylvanas gets hit, and they realized it half a second too late.
Yes.
If they would have seen her properly, they would have heard, all right, this is a kill, boys. So Lunara moved in, but barely missed her. But now the gap is nearly close. It's 18 versus 19. Yes, there is still an advantage for the red team, but it is shrinking. They got the fort, so they are looking a bit better. They only trail that one keep at the top side, but this is exactly what they need to do. As I said earlier, get the first kill, and then chase with Lucio. Chase, 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 get more, close the gap, and now try to make your own play for map control.
And Diamond Hands has a trib to give, right? Simplicity only has 1 trib. So even if there's an opportunity where there's a brief window where Simplicity has 20 and you're still only level 19, just give it up. Who needs it?
Yep.
There's no bosses on the map. And that may be something that comes into play here, as we do see Simplicity walking it down mid. But Diamond Hands, off of that winning fight, is able to have that space, have that time. And their level 20s are scary. We're talking about level 20 Johanna, level 20 Phoenix. Lucio, I think, level 20 is really powerful as well.
I'm coming back to my point, though. They don't use the globals enough. Simplicity doesn't. We have Johanna split pushing more aggressively than the globals at this point. She can escape, of course, with her falling sword, but finally the Haka is moving to the top lane to try and split a little bit. Okay. Because the entire time they've been 5-manning over and over and over again. And generally speaking in the late game, that's not a bad idea. But if you run 2 globals, have them push these side lanes a bit against an opponent that is obviously on the defensive.
Yeah, no, definitely. As you know, it is going to be a level 20 to level 20 team fight that is going to decide this. as it looks like Simplicity pressuring a bit in the bot lane. We see Falstad backing off, a lot of siege pressure, a lot of bruiser pressure, and yeah, like you mentioned, Khaldor, we need these globals to be getting value, pushing out those lanes, as it looks like Diamond Hands, Caesar instantly going for the jump stun. That's going to be the cleanse coming out, as Phoenix, they're going in onto Averted here, doing a decent amount of damage.
And he has level 20, and now Jojo is want to become a menace. They're coming in already with the ult. Salvo's coming out. Madara is a little bit low, got Filth. He's protected by Muradin, who hits another Stormbolt on Unaverted, who has to hell get out of this, but got Filth in the back. Cure looking for the drag. The engage of Diablos. He's trying to catch Caesar Salad, and the blue team is on the run. They killed nearly against Unaverted and got Filth. They both make it out here. But boy, these fights are getting crazy.
Yeah, June able to keep everyone alive, as well as Gotfilth with that level 20 shield talent able to survive. But now you see Simplicity having to back off, having to deal with all this global pressure. And it looks like Madara actually walking over to the boss. Are they just going to opt to give up the curse? They're just going to go for a boss for curse trade, as it looks like Simplicity going for another cheeky boss call. Are they going to be able to get it? Caesar Salad on the Muradin, sniffing it out. Is he going to get there in time? I don't know if he is.
No. And that is, yeah, they can't push. They have to take this down. It's going to go straight for the core. Then again, it's 17 minutes in, so this is not going to hurt them that much. But keep in mind, there's a second boss up on the map, and that one they should try and get.
Yeah, I mean, a good rotation coming out from Simplicity, you know, negating about like maybe the first 15, maybe first 20 seconds of this curse for the side of Diamond Hands, but they still have time. They still have 40 seconds. What can they get off of this? Potentially could look for a boss of their own, potentially could look to pressure. You know, if they get just one kill, they're able to back off, get their boss. But yeah, a great shot call coming out from Simplicity, and I feel like that has to be a Cure shot call. That's definitely something that I feel like he would call.
Boss at the top lane is now left alone, but they know that they need to make a bit of a play here. Vision is so important right now. I mean, technically, there could even be a coordinated effort to go to the top lane and try and push the core here. But everybody is just grouping up again down at the bottom. Curse is still going strong, but there's just no way for it to be a threat to the red team. But they're trying for the engage again. Muradin hopping in, trying to connect the Stormbolt. Lunara also going a bit far out to connect a bit more poison. Needs to be very careful. If Diablo gets the angle on her, then she's in trouble.
One thing to note, Falstad not opting into the wind tunnel. Very powerful on this map, especially in boss, as Kelsier is going to get tongued here. The blink from Unaverted, but a great high five is going to stop the Lunara from falling, as Cure is taking a lot of damage. Gus comes out, the Ancestral as well. A lot of ults used for both sides. Both teams pretty much all the way healed up, and everyone survives.
And now that we have Epic Mount on Falstad, I also need him to split way more aggressively. Yes. We can't have this like 5-manning all game long. They need to use that global if they already opt into that level 20 here. But once again, the pressure and also the threat at the top lane, which now forces the blue team to move away from the boss and instead try and defend the top.
Yeah, because I was going to think, oh, are they just going to start up the boss here? But if you go for that, they can just go hit your core, right?
Yep.
That's a wah move for sure. So it looks like, though, it's pretty neck and neck here. Definitely feel like Simplicity has the advantage, though. Yeah, no, we've definitely been here before. But the favor is that Simplicity, all they need is one trib, and they will get that curse, as it looks like they are going to pressure in, just looking to pull them over to the boss here, want their Dahaka, want their Falstad to be able to get value, as it looks like Unaverted is going to go in onto this Muradin here. The leaping is coming out.
Yeah, they might try to make the play for Diablo, and Phoenix is now slowly moving into. Falstad obviously arrived a bit faster. And I like that finally they're starting to pressure the side lanes, and you can see the effect immediately. Good drag coming out. Jojo also jumping in for just a second, but at the top lane we have Catapult slowly massing up on that lane, and at the bottom of the map the Siege Giants and the Catapults are also applying additional pressure on the next keep.
Doing a much better job the last minute, maybe a minute and a half from the side of Simplicity on the global. That's what you wanted to see, Khaldor. Yeah. As it looks like June, though, going to get silenced here. Potentially could lose their life, though. Or maybe the turnaround, actually. Pants going a bit too aggressive with that epic. The boss! Finishing it off!
Him and takes him down. The Ancestral would have hit, and the boss just had enough. Comes in, takes him down. Legacy in trouble as well. Gets locked down hard, but comes in with a self-Ancestral. Sure. Once again, the chase is on, but now the boss is up. Cure in the meantime made the move over towards the core, but the boss should be easy pickings now here at the 20-minute mark for Diamond Hands.
Yes, but this may be, I mean, will be a curse for the side of Simplicity here. It's definitely, this game is just flipping back and forth. One team gets a curse, the other one gets a boss.
Starting at minute 1.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And this could be a situation Well, I mean, you have to leave your Johanna in base. If you just leave these lane, these katas in the top side, you'll end up losing the game. So the question is, where does Diamond Hands push here? I feel like you have to try and open up a keep. You don't want to just spend your entire curse defending, but I feel like they kind of have to a little bit, at least push this top lane out.
Yeah, it's a bit of a vision game now too. As long as you don't know where the red team is, Simplicity could just be hiding and waiting to gank up on you. But now that they show at the bot lane, you know at least, okay, we have the rest of the map to play with. They can steal the Bruiser camp away on the top right side, and that might be where they're going to move next. Obviously, the curse, outside of pushing your lanes, not doing too much for you because you're already at level 20 talent. So we have level 22 versus level 22. Now they can try and establish more map control. Boss has been defended against, and it's going to be a big reset. So Jojo's top side, the rest of the team takes the camps. And the curse doesn't play that much of a role now.
They got like
after
a tower.
defense.
They got like a bot tower off like a 20-minute boss. That hurts. You're sad about that. And so really both teams.
It reminds me a bit of Tomb. You negate a boss with a Web Weaver Wave on Tomb, and here it was with a curse similar. But Pants is now side dating. Finally, there we go. And with Epic Mount, he needs to get out of there. They need to make sure that he's not being hit. But that's exactly what we need to see. Apply that pressure.
June.
He stayed too long.
Yeah, okay. Is going to be able to skate. Didn't have much follow-up damage. They want to rotate over to the boss. This really is the last objective left on the map, as Phoenix is a bit far away. They could look for a potential opportunity here as Unaverted going in onto the Lunara. Kelsier falling very, very low.
Diamond Hands cannot allow them to take this boss. That bad boy goes straight for the core. It's a 5 versus 5 now. Bot lane, Siege Giants are moving in. That keep is under pressure, but you have to make that play up at the top. That's the exact reason why they're posturing, why Simplicity wants them here. Bot lane in trouble. They're playing much better around the macro now, and this boss topside could end the game one way or another. But you have to react. They're accepting that they're likely going to lose the keep at the bot lane, but that means also they have to win the fight at the top.
Yeah, that means Simplicity can just keep playing it slow. You're winning right now. This is a massive positive trade for you. You see Johanna in the mid lane. Just don't engage. You're getting bot keep for free here, as Legacy, actually a bit split off, is going to be able to walk around. Unaverted, though, going a bit aggressive. The Gust comes out. Is Unaverted going to be able to survive here on the Diablo, trying to get around Legacy, trying to catch up to him? And that is going to be the Hellgate forced out. But during all of this, that bottom keep has fallen. And I like Diamond Hands forcing the issue here, saying, come and fight us. No more of this, chicken shit. Global game, let's fight.
Yeah, they have to fight, and it's obviously a forced call here to go for boss and threaten it, but they have no other choice. And they go for Unaverted, and that is the deny on the assessment. It's the attempt to. They could finally get the kill here, and they do. Diablo goes down. They worked hard for it, but they're losing Bambi. Lunara is down, Kyoto, and also Dehaka. Rhaegar is dead, and now they can get another kill. The interrupt, and Sylvanas gets flattened like a pancake by Johanna. The core is still a bit in trouble. They want to go for the boss right now. Someone has to go back, and it is Johanna. Pants is arriving at the same time. He's not going to cut it here. Diablo trying to stop them from the boss. The core is taking damage. The game is going absolutely bananas.
Man.
It's going to be another photo finish.
And it looks like Diamond Hands is going to be able to secure the boss, but 30 seconds until the Rhaegar and the Sylvanas are up. Maybe they can actually defend this, as the core for Diamond Hands is now at 51%. That is backdoorable. This is a game, isn't it? Almost 25 minutes in, 23-23, and this is Diamond Hands' chance. They want to end the game here. They're going for the throw.
You gotta end. You gotta end. Yes, you're gonna have to fight at 5 versus 5 again, but you gotta do something here. Bambi is about to be back. Lunara appearing back on the map. The boss isn't here. They're trying to get the keep down as quickly as they possibly can. Rhaegar reappearing on the map. Sylvanas coming in right now. I'm not sure if they can end though. Top lane, there's more catapults coming towards the blue team squad too. Oh, June!
Yeah, Cure missing a tongue there, actually not able to connect on the June off of the Diablo combo. And I don't know if they can, I mean, the boss is still half HP. Lunara is rotating in from mid as well. It looks like Diamond Hands wants to end it. They 100% have Kata pressure here, as it looks like Unaverted going in aggressive.
Lunara!
Kelsier.
The Gust and the kill. Lunara gets caught, and she's down. They go for the core. They know they gotta end, but Godfilth is in trouble. He falls too. The core is falling slowly, but I don't know if they have it. June is still alive, and he's doing what he can. The boss is also applying a lot of damage. 40%, 30%.
25.
They're getting it down to 20. I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough. 15, 12, 10. And no Meridian.
7%.
They all
core.
go down. 7% on the core, and this has to be game. Unfucking-leavable. It's happening again. It's happening again.
It was 8% last time, 7% this
All right,
time.
it's
Hashtag
totally different.
improvement.
It's totally different.
It is totally different. Oh, that was such a close photo finish for the side
Oh
of Diamond
my
Hands.
God.
I can't help but feel like they missed out on at least a little bit of damage there. They're going to be watching the replay and kicking themselves. It felt like their game to lose at the end there. And Simplicity, they pull it out and take a 2-0 lead.
All right, guys, we are back. Michael took the opportunity to use the amazing plastic surgery that they have here in Miami in the short break that we had. So a little bit of a different look for him. Nah, just kidding. So we got Mark in for the next game. You're going to join us for game number 3.
Yep.
So how did you like the last one? Got it close there.
It was very close, very back and forth, some hints here and there, and I mean, it was a fun game to watch.
How did you like the core race at the end? Do you think they could have taken it?
I think they'll be looking back to that and be like, oh, it should have been 1-1. Should have been 1-1.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, but we're heading into Alderek Pass right now, so that's our third map, and Make is going to not only go through the draft with us, but also then commentate the game with me, so looking forward to that. If you're looking at the series right now between the two teams here, what do you think Diamond Hands should do? They had a great series yesterday, was again close. I feel when they played the Global, they did well. But it seems like every single time they're so close of winning a game against Simplicity, they just can't bring it over the finish line. From your perspective, what do you think, what would you do if you were in their shoes? Do they need to change their entire approach? Like, what's...
I mean, looking at the last 2 games, it's been very close both times, right?
Yeah.
I think the important thing for the Diamond Hands to do is literally just pull them together, like, realize we were super close both games. Don't fall apart. Like, we are very close to beating this team.
Yep.
So they just keep doing what they do, maybe swap up a couple of heroes that they felt were troubles for them, and then just do the same thing, a bit cleaner, and like drop the nervousness, because I feel like it's a bit nervousness going on, and that's making them not do those extra 5-10%.
Yeah, I always look at it and I feel like there's this like jam, and if they win one map, then all of a sudden it could just break and they could just get that momentum. Because game number 1 in particular, they had such a hard time to establish a foothold, and it never really happened. You could always feel like they're on the edge of it. Then game 2 was better, but now a reverse sweep is always going to be tough. Now, they're banning Zeratul again, so they're trying to target Cure a little bit with this. But Aldrich Pass is obviously also a huge map, so how should they approach this now, in your opinion?
I mean, I think starting with the Zeratul ban, just respecting Cure, dropping your ego, just respect him. On big maps, Alterac, Curse, just respect Cure. Ban it. So I think that's good already. We've seen some Malf changes.
What do you think about this, actually? Because we had it yesterday, and we were a little bit torn. Like, Michael and I, we looked at it and we said, Malfurion, I can see him being picked, but in a first pick position, do we really think that he deserves that priority right now?
I'm not sure. We'll see. I think I personally like more other sealer more, so I would not pick it here. There's a lot. Yeah, I think right now what we're seeing now for Simplicity's opening, it's looking a lot stronger.
Yeah. You got Blaze immediately, you have the Global as well.
But now, okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I was always hating on Auto Attack Vala because like the last iteration of the level 1 talent, it was just absolutely useless. And it was such a waste, but I love what they did with it.
Yeah.
That is just such a fun combo, and seeing the double support as an option for her to get the auto attacks through, it's really fun to watch, it's fun to cast, there's always this gamble going on. Do we get to a point without her dying where she can stack? I enjoy that a lot. So having that Uther now doubling as a frontline tank and with a double support. I mean, you yourself also played this quite a bit, right? So you've been enjoying it too, as far as I know.
I mean, the hero is super fun to play, and when you get space around it as well, it's just, you just do whatever you want, and the game is kind of on you to make enough pressure for you to win. But Alterac is one of those maps where if the other team doesn't let you just 4-man deathball, it can be trouble for you. So we'll see how Simplicity plays, and they're pretty good at macroing. So if they punish Diamond Hands for his going as 4, it might be trouble for them in the end.
Okay. Now we have on the bans, Cure again attacked here on the ban side. Tracer is getting banned out, also a ban on Maiev in this case. But with the double support, obviously Uther is going to also run the main tank. We still need the side laner here. But we get Mephisto. How is Mephisto actually looking for you? I explained this actually yesterday, I think. You were the only one in Europe for the longest time that busted out the Mephisto. It was Volskaya, that was your main map for him, and then you also used him on Infernal Shrines. Nobody else like really played him. We had 1 or 2 players that dabbled a bit, but everybody says like, yeah, that's a market thing. Then we have this Korean tournament popping up where the Korean and the Chinese teams were playing. Everybody there played Mephisto, and all of a sudden the West goes and is like, huh, maybe they're onto something. And now I see everybody playing it. Nick is playing it. We see it here now for the second or third time.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Trendsetter here.
I mean, I always knew, you know, I always knew. The hero is crazy. The hero is crazy. Obviously, I think with more people playing it as well, it developed a bit of different play styles and different talent choices.
Yeah.
So I think what we're seeing now is the strongest. Thank you. It's the strongest. Like you have so many different variations. If you need stronger early game, or basically every time you go the globe on 4, and your early game is insane. And I mean, people see it. People are getting skilled on it. I think Alterac is not his best map. I think the hero can always be good, and if they don't drop, if they just keep rolling and not lose any team fights, it's going to be really good for him.
I mean, we're going to find out in a second. We got Ural and Zul now coming in too, so it's a really strong front line that we see for the blue team here, and that is definitely spicy. The wave that comes with Zul in particular is going to be super interesting to see now.
I want to be like
clearing the camp / doing the camp.
Yeah, we got to find them. I mean, I don't know who they're going to push with. I think we have to rotate with the full step.
I mean, they're gonna respond to us, not the other way around. But
maybe.
But I mean,
Give me
I'm
more
gonna
armor,
see if I can
baby.
fuck with him.
I think
Yeah.
what's the legendary Zul build? Is it my Boney? Yeah, All bones. I'm gonna go
Shade
Q7,
1.
and then I'll go.
Oh,
Shade,
Yeah.
I got
And then you
stun
go
at
Jailer.
16, and then taunt 20.
Okay.
Just the
And then
Passive.
we're gonna look to.
Passive at 7,
We're
which
gonna
is like
look
the
to
health
throw
regen.
Uther onto.
10 is
Onto multiple people.
probably
for me,
the
And
Skelly
then
mages.
I'm gonna R them.
yeah.
then-
Throwing into us is
Is it just
not.
Q all the way
I mean,
up,
it's good,
right?
but if you can
2,
throw them
13,
into a
16,
mass,
20?
you're
Yeah.
Yeah, we just
Actually,
have Mephisto.
Weekend's pretty good against this stuff.
Yeah, I think most throws
damage
are
reduction?
out, unless
Yeah,
it's
I'll,
like
Yeah.
What one is
If
that?
I,
Sure
if I
kill.
find Uther,
13.
yeah, if I find
I'm
Uther
going
and
for damage
force shield,
reduction
it's
anyway,
good.
so I don't know if we need.
Okay, so
double
Blaze
damage
stopped me
reduction.
bot, right?
Yeah, no,
Because
it's
you're
fine.
doing.
All
I kind of want to
reduce the
stack
damage
a
by
little bit,
40%.
but I can.
And with that, we're in the game. Game number 3, everybody. So, time to shine here. Let's see if we're going to get finally a win for Diamond Hands as we have them on the left side. God Filth, he's going to play the Vala here, the double support. It's going to be super important with the stacks. Obviously, auto-attack talent. You want to make sure that Vala doesn't die, doesn't lose any of the Gambit stacks here. And on the right side of the map, we got the red team busting out the Mephisto, Marcus' favorite. It's actually a perfect timing here to get you in on the cast.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we can talk a bit about the Vala stacks. I think the amount of stacks you have, obviously it's good if you can stack, but if you get to the late game when you get 16 and 20, having the auto attack speed remaining, I think that's the most important part. So you can, if you stack a lot, that's super good, but if you don't get stacks, don't worry about it. I think having the auto attack speed for 16 and 20 is the one that is most important. So like you're still flying early game, Manticore, attack range, if you have all the attack speed left then, you become super dangerous.
Yeah, and I mean, we see that repeatedly. So the late game is super, super important with her, and if they can get to that point. God Filth has been playing a great tournament, honestly.
Yeah.
They had a couple of moments, you know, where, I mean, there's a bit of nervousness going on here, of course, too. Sometimes you're being forced into a mistake, but generally speaking, he did a great job. So seeing him now on the Vala with this should be fun. This should be really fun.
He's a very mechanically skilled player. He plays, like we saw last game, Phoenix, very auto attack, mechanical heavy hero. And I think he shines on those heroes. So we'll see how he can do. He has the support to back it up now. Yeah, we'll see.
You guys played also quite a... Oh,
Close. That's close.
yeah, not like this. But you played some scrims against these guys. So what do you think about Diamond Hands as a team? Is there anybody else outside of God Filth that stands out to you?
I think they're pretty similar. I think Godfield is probably the best player. Like, he's very mechanically skilled. I think Sister Salad is good. I think they play well together. I feel like they jive well together. I feel like they're a team that has fun playing, and I think you can see that. And obviously, I think Yoon on the support always is good. He's always solid, always there with the backup. So I think and Nintori on the offlane, yeah. I mean, I think they have a solid team, for sure.
Yeah, June was struggling a little bit in game number 1 today. Took a little bit of time for him to really get into the series, I feel. First game, he was a bit rough for him. Second game, much better. And of course, now he needs to support him with his Malfurion once again. Level 4 already kicking in a bit early. And, well, for now, with the objective, what do you actually think about Aldrich Pass in general? It feels like the objective is always delayed. I mean, the earliest that we're seeing players go for it is level 7, I want to say, with the 7 talent, sometimes even delayed until 10.
Yeah, I mean, you can see already what Pants is doing top lane. He's already kind of sieging the wall, what she can do as plays. And they have been 3-man mid sieging their wall. So I think in early game, it's all about getting that wall damage a bit everywhere, and having side-ins that win against the enemies are very advantageous in that point. So I will see, I think Cure should be beating the Zul. Zul is the name.
Yeah.
But if Zul just goes in, clears the wave, and don't let Falstad poke the wall, he should be good. And Blaze should win the top lane.
I gotta say that Vala is really aggressive right now. God
Yeah.
Filth is already at 50 stacks nearly. And this 4-man in the middle, or this little death ball that they're trying to build there, I mean, it's already met with a response that allows him to go for those stacks in the first place. So right now, as long as he keeps himself alive, things are looking good for them.
Yeah, I mean, they can basically do this until level 10. They just shove the easy camp. Although, what Simplicity has is they have a much easier way to do the easy camp, so they're going to get it on cooldown all the time, which is going to delay the mid push for Diamond Hands.
What do you think about the Zul pick here? Obviously, wave clear, it brings in, we had it in Europe for a long time. I mean, even in the HGC days with Alex going for his Zul plays. So it was always like hovering there, but we don't see him a whole lot. Do you feel like it's a solid pick here, or do you believe it's another one would have been
the idea Diamond Hand has is that they want to be able to be 3 mid, and they need some wave clear. I think Zul late game with double support is kind of hard to kill, and he can have pressure. Even if he gets tossed in, he can still have pressure. But I think in general, I don't like Zul that much. We'll see how they do. I think it's a very even draft right now. Vala into like late game, Vala versus Garrosh is just going to be able to pick him apart. So we'll see, but always the Mephisto factor. If he gets free range, and the Madara, what he usually does, well, let's see the engage here. Okay. Yeah, what he does is that he goes shield. So this is the late game build. He doesn't go globes on 4, he goes shield, and then we'll probably see auto attack on 13 because you need a cooldown reduction. So he becomes a very scary on 20 when he has double circle. He becomes insanely scary.
Yep. What do you think about Cure's role here? Oh, that's what we're talking about. Cure makes the engage. They're trying to go for God Filth. Wallach makes it out, but Caesar Salad is getting caught here. And Uther dies. First kill in the game, 5 minutes in. They saved Vala, which was the more important part here, but obviously losing Uther allows Simplicity now to make a play for the objective. But talking about Cure for just a second, Cure is in this case now playing Falstad. You obviously are playing a ton of Falstad as well. What is his role here? Are we only talking with him obviously dying at the same time? We are only talking about him with the chicken down. Is he going to be the one on the side lane trying to pressure them out? Is it all about the Gust here? What is the Falstad pick contributing for them now?
I mean, I think he will be obviously global. He can pressure the side lane and also be in the team fight. If he's in the lane before Zul, he will be able to shove the wave and try and force a team fight. Or he can decide to just push, get some value on structures. But now what I think Diamond Hands, what they need to do and what they're doing is forcing the objective.
No.
If they can get it, okay.
That's a problem for God Filth. He's really isolated, and that could be the first death of Vala. He's actually already trying to trade here against Legacy and can't. Malfurion dies too. Vala got the 100 stacks, but that's the first Gambit point removed from her, and they are just going for the chase now. Kelsia is low, trying to escape as well, barely able to walk away from Unaverted, and Simplicity with the 2 kills that he just locked in, and the level 10 talent is now able to make a play for the objective.
I think this is what they did now. They Falstad shoved out bottom, forced Zul to rotate, and then he flew up. I think I think they should force the objective. I think if they are 10, they can ignore some waves to be able to force the objective. But they were a bit too eager to go in and force it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Gus to disengage here. Nintori, they're moving in with God Filth, popping his strafe pretty early. Here, starting to chunk them down on Unaverted. Eats the stun. Here comes the Ancestral, saving Garrosh, and they're turning it again. Vala dying once more. Another 5% attack speed removed. Double kill against her, pretty much back to back. Another focus on Caesar Salad and on Kelsia, both in trouble here. Zul falls. Nintori with the attempted save, falling short. And that's Simplicity with the objective and another important kill against Vala. How much of a problem? We talked earlier about the gambits that you feel they are way more important to keep those stacks up than getting stacks. At what point do you really believe, okay, now Vala has really lost her value? We've seen her die twice, that's 10% gone, 15 left.
I mean, I think still 16-20 is very strong, and like you still do a lot of damage. But I mean, if you lose all your stacks, you still have, I guess you have damage. I mean, it's hard to say. I think 1620 is always strong. Having that extra 25 auto attack speed is obviously huge, but you can still, like, if you don't get engaged on and just pick apart the garage, it doesn't matter your attack speed if you just play it slowly.
Pans with an attempt, trying to get the jet propulsion connected here. They were able to walk away this time, but they still need to, of course, deal with the objective. Got Filth already rushing back, but here comes Garrosh again with another attempt to isolate Uther. They get the drop on him, but at least for now, the blue team still fine. Zula's taken over at the top lane, Nintori in the middle, forcing Cure off, but the fort isn't looking too good here. 5 kills to 1 now, and once again, it seems that Diamond Hands is having a bit of trouble to getting a good position in the game.
Yeah, I think the problem will be if Diamond Hands doesn't make an attempt to force something and just let Simplicity take whatever fights they want, they're going to be in trouble. I think they need to try and force Simplicity to go on them. If that's sieging a keep, doing the objective. Oh, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, this is already a move like this, but
I think
they're shying away from the fight here, getting gasted into a corner. And Mephisto, big damage in that choke point. Oh my god. Valhalla survives, but they lose both of their supports. And now, of course, the bottom boss is open.
Yeah, I think they do what I say, that they're forcing, but the problem is, first objective, they forced before 10. They weren't able to get 10 and they weren't 5. This objective, same thing. They forced, they were 12 versus 13 and they weren't 5. They're forcing, but they're not really doing it as 5. Sometimes you just have to, you always want to catch soak, but sometimes it's worth it just to leave soak to be able to get that 5v5. Because oftentimes they're going to expect you to, okay, he's going to catch bottom soak, then you have and maybe they don't want to take 5v5 fights, so they're expecting your 5th to go and catch that soak. If you just ignore that soak, you get the 5v5 you want.
And in this situation also, initially they had the right thought. They were trying to escape, but then Cure with a great play, of course, gusting them into the corner. That forced them to escape through the choke point, and that it got exploited immediately. That resulted in the kills, it results in the boss, and since the blue team has to defend the bot lane now, it's an easy free top boss for Simplicity. They're already ahead by 6 kills, by 1.5 levels. And they are, of course, in a dominant position now. If you're in a spot like this, you know 16 is coming up for your opponent, you're pretty much just playing catch-up, you have a hard time initiating, you're pretty much reacting the entire game. How do you try and make plays now? Is it just simply you trying to wait for the next talent until you're on even talents, and then you force maybe around the boss again? Or how do you operate in a situation like this to get back into it?
Yeah, I mean, right now I think you have to get 16. You need to get Manticore on Vala. And then I think you try to position the map. So either for next objective or next boss, you need to do something with the 16 talent here. I think fighting here is very trouble looking at the map. So I think they just give this one up, try and get 16, try and defend and not lose a keep if they can. And then you just try and move up on the map with 16. Probably just siege down middle if you can. Otherwise, yeah, just around the objective, around next boss, you try and find an opportunity where they're forced to fight you or give up a lot of their resources, kind of.
I gotta say that Simplicity is also playing the global a little bit cleaner than they did in some of the previous games. I criticized them a bit, especially yesterday when they ran the Haka and Falstad and never really exploited it. I talked to Q about it, and he said like he was very afraid of the Muradin and Lucio rotations, but now he's much more active on the map. We see Falstad consistently on the side lane, and that applies pressure, especially to that top keep, which forces then in return Nintori to sit on the side lane so that they don't lose any structures without even a fight having to be put up.
This game, Falstad has a very free game. There's nothing, like there's no Diablo they can charge him. They have nothing to gank the Falstad with. He's probably fine pretty much all the time. If like there's a Soul coming up, going to EU, that doesn't work. Same with Uther. He needs to run up and stun you, melee range. He's very safe to do whatever he wants this game, and then he can be very aggressive on the side lane.
So now we have 16 coming up for the blue team, and as already talked about earlier, that's when they need to try and make a bit of a play. And this is exactly what you've been talking about. Yes, Urel gets the drop on Falstad, and then what do? So there's nothing else left. You need the rotation, but that rotation is coming now. And Cure might have stayed a bit too long and played this too greedy. So he's buying time for the rest of the team, but his fate is already sealed. He's gonna die.
Nope.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
They use Strafe.
This is not good.
Oh,
Look at
the
bot lane,
spray
look
is
at
there
mid
too.
lane. Oh, yeah.
Zul goes down at the bottom of the map. I mean, Cure gets the maximum out of it. He buys a ton of time. He forces the Strafe. And that time is being used for a keep approach at the bot lane. And the one at the top is also falling.
Yeah. I think this is looking a bit rough. A bit rough. I think you just try and run them down here. 4v4.
Yeah, they're going for the play. They want another kill. The D-shield is out. Vala with a few more stacks together, getting the damage out, but it's just not enough to net them kills. 2 to 8 in total. And once again, it is Mephisto with a big damage here. Red team is starting to fall back now slowly, but could always try and turn it here. With Falset obviously still not part of the fight. They are outnumbered. They need to be a bit careful.
Yeah,
will be as soon as
Madara's
Zul's
been doing really good work here. I think Mephisto into double support, it's always that, can you do more damage than they can heal? And now he has the 13 auto attack reduction. So now he basically has spells all the time. 20 is going to be problematic. We felt it as well versus them in the first series. When we were pushing, we were 5 versus 3. Still, he was almost defending. He was doing so much damage with it. So it's very hard to reach as well, Mephisto, without any counters. You don't have the traditional counters for him either.
Yep.
So he's pretty free to do whatever he wants. And as I said, he has all the forts left. He's very safe. He's very safe on the map.
Do you feel that they're gaining some momentum? I mean, how much is this affecting your series, for example? If they win here, that would be a 3-0 victory, and they would go up against you in the best of 7.
Yep.
Do you feel like that could be a problem, that they gained a bit of momentum here and they come off a very clean win maybe into your series?
Sure, for sure. But I mean, they also have to look at the series we played against them. So, yeah.
Stitch's ban incoming, huh?
Yeah, we'll see. They need to ban Uli, they need to ban Maska, they need to ban a lot of dudes.
Are we going to see your Tracer today?
Maybe. Maybe. We'll see.
Kyo again in trouble, but is able to gust the opponents away, so he's still fine.
They want this fight.
Yeah,
Diamond
it's before
wants
20.
Yes, yes. But you see, they have Zul and Urel. They don't really have any catch. They can basically just run, and they have a Gust if it looks bad. They have Garrosh with Ally Toss. They have so many tools to get out. It's very hard for Diamond Hands to force a fight. And if there's no, like now the objective spawns, but they're down a talent, I think you just have to take the fight.
Yeah, now bosses are up again at the
And
bot
bosses
lane,
as well,
level
yeah.
20 is up, objective is up, so there's so much happening on the map now. And obviously you talked about the 20 on Mephisto. He's already dishing out nearly top damage in this game. Vala's a bit ahead with 60,000, Mephisto sitting at 56k. But with that level 20, he is going to just ramp up the damage so quickly from here on out.
Yeah, I am not sure if Diamond Hands can defend this boss.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to go straight for the core here. And without the level 20 talent, you need a pick.
Yeah, they have Gust as well.
Yeah, Godfeld is already a bit in trouble here, but the supports are still alive, so boss isn't even here. Urel, by the way, still at the top, just portaled in here.
I think they need to start hitting them. They need to start hitting. Valors needs to start hitting people, but it's hard as well. Into Rhaegar Totem, it's so broken. Like, it's very hard.
Godfeld, they need to save him. If Vala is down, this is definitely over. Here comes the jet propulsion, but Pans misses it. 2 armor shields already gone at the boss. Moving in now as we speak in the 5 minutes, trying to defend as best they can, but here comes the stun once more. We have got Phil still dancing around Cure, the wind tunnel, and now Kelsia is the first one to fall. Zul is down, got Phil able to save himself of Rhaegar. They're trying to get the kill, but the core is also starting to fall. It's a huge problem here for Diamond Hands. They're losing Urel. It's a 5 versus 3, and this is game as Simplicity moves on to the grand final for the rematch against Team. Wow. Clean win. Not really what I expected after yesterday, I gotta say.
Yeah. They played well. I think the problem was that they took Diamond Hands, went for the objective before level 10. Not as 5. They got punished. And Simplicity won that. And then they got the boss. When they tried to take boss, 12 versus 13. Simplicity got that. And after that, when Simplicity has globals and better wave clear, it's hard to play that map.
If you're looking at Simplicity as a team now that you have to face off against them again in the grand final, what is the one thing where you say, okay, this is something that we really respect and that we need to be careful about?
We will ban Cure Zeratul on all the maps that it's good on.
Despite the fact that you won.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Okay, I'm going to let you go in a second. We're going to wrap this up because obviously you need to get back on the stage and also prep. So guys, once again, quick reminder, you can win one of the banners that we have here at the venue, which are not that one.
Not that one?
No,
okay.
the ones that are hanging there.
Ah, that one, that one.
You can't see that one, but they're actually pretty awesome. So you need to go to Twitter. NLG Miami is the Twitter account. Just check out the last tweet. There's a picture in there as well. The banners will be signed by the players, by the casters. Everybody is then here. and is sent to you. All that you got to do to participate is retweet, follow the account, and also like. So pretty simple. Can do that. NLG Miami is the account. We're going to be back with the best of 7 series in just a bit. You boys are going to have your rematch. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Against Simplicity. So stay tuned, guys, and we'll be back with the grand final. Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.